Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. I don't know what's going on here. All my, I'm pushing my buttons for my sound effects, and everything's like taking an extra second. It's like I push the button, and it just sits there, and then it starts. So I was like, I feel like a little delayed. How we doing out there, ladies and gentlemen? Hello. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. I got to lower this down. See, I'm all discombobulated here. It's like, when you push the button, you want something to happen. I push the button, and then see what I'm saying right there? Hit the button. No, I'm going to hit the button. I'm going to hit the button. Okay, now we're getting there. Maybe it has to warm up a little bit. My Stream Deck. This thing is a pretty cool little device, actually. Heyo. I never went into the specifics of that, but, I have like all my sound effects and different things programmed on there. When I first went on YouTube, I said to myself, the biggest thing I really wanted to do was have, the buttons to push. And, that was, what I loved so much about radio. Back when I used to work in radio, we still had CD players and cart machines and stuff, so I would have everything on CDs and carts. I had 3 CD players and 3 cart machines, and I'd be switching things all around, while I was talking and playing different sound effects. Now I don't have to do it like that because everything's here and buttons in front of my face, so we just have, whatever I want to hit. If I want to hit my my turkeys are here. We did the, see, did a delay. Did a delay again. There's my turkeys. All right, what am I doing? I'm sorry. Let me stop. Hello, I'm Pete Palmer. This is Operation Status Quo, the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life. And most importantly, this is the place where we observe and learn and try to figure out how to create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. So what are you doing out there today to create your own flow of quo? Because that's what it's all about in this topsy-turvy, upside-down, twisty, curvy kind of world, right? We have to find our way and make our way no matter what's going on in the circumstances around us. Today is the 12th of November in the good year 2024, and today's program is entitled, ladies and gentlemen, Times of Strange. I don't know. I guess I'm silly today. I was going to come on yesterday. I wanted to come on, and then, what's funny about like doing this is like when I was trying to do it like every day before, like sometimes I felt like, it's forced, like, oh, if you're not 100% in the mood or, what am I going to talk about? Oh, I'm always trying to keep it in a certain type of way, I don't know, all that kind of stuff. And, so, I have to feel like when I feel like inspired, it works, it works a lot easier. So, I have like multiple, I'm always coming up with little concepts of things I could discuss, and like I say, I take notes for myself. So I probably got like 3 or 4 shows that I could do, but then this one is not one that I had planned. This is something that kind of came to me today after a conversation. Well, it came to me yesterday in a way, but it developed starting yesterday with a conversation that I had, but then came to full fruition today of how I wanted to maybe couch the concept of what I would like to share here on Operation Status Quo today, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing well out there. I really do. Today's a week since for some people, pure, adulation, pure ecstasy. And for other people, total misery, so, and again, either way, please don't attach too much to those outside circumstances. And that's really what I want to, get to today, because I find it interesting now that the election has passed and we're like a week, well, today was the day it was going on, but just to say, we're a week, into this new thing. And it's very interesting to me because, like, as I do, even though I didn't vote because I don't believe in the system, so overall, I won't participate and put my energy in that regard. But I do, like Trump, and I wouldn't say that like, I see how people are being since this has happened, right? One, of course, are the people that are, very upset and angry and saying very angry things. And, then there's the people who won and they're super happy and they want to stick it in the face a little bit of the others, So, it's just, I really just want to, as I always try to do here on Operation Status Quo, and the reason that I come on and try to, share ideas with people is, is to always remember to give, everything space, and not to look so much to, what's going on in our, physical paradigm and everything else as the, like the be all end all. Like, I told you before, with my buddy, the yoga guy, Mark Drost. And again, you can go on Facebook. His page is public. So you can look at everything that I'm talking about that he says. And like, he's really, that's why we got to do another episode, Toast to Drost Part 2. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in that, because I mean, he's really got some doozies over the past couple days. And what's interesting about it though? Like, he's real staunch, like left that way, that, left thinking that way, that just thinks that like, Trump is an evil dictator person, and, how stupid everybody is, and how much hate people have for voting for him. He really went on this whole tangent, like on a couple of his posts about you can't hide your hate. You show your hate by, and I'm thinking like, he just goes rah, rah, rah. And I'm thinking like, but I mean, like, you're projecting like hate in a way. And it's just interesting to be so angry, in my mind over something like that. But there's a lot of people, I notice on his page that have been, kind of questioning him and challenging him back in, in some of his comments. Like they'll say like, you're supposed to be following yogi principles. How do you speak like this and stuff? And he comes back, rah, 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 you have hate in your heart. It's like, what's wrong, man? Come on, dude. Hey, Mark, let's go get a beer or something. I'm not a beer guy, more of a bourbon guy, but whatever you like, you want to smoke some weed? I don't care. Let's get together and hang out. You know what I mean? Let me help you out a little bit, my friend. Please let it go. But who am I? I'm not here to help anybody out. I'm just here to share who I am and my perception and my kind of thought process, right? So to hopefully give people other ways to think, not to change anybody. It's not up to me, because we all have our own life. We all have our own way. We all have our own journey, right? So it's not for anyone to put any kind of a process into like what somebody else's process should be. When we encounter one another in this life, right, and make connections, that's what it's really all about. We're all reflections of one another. So it's a matter of someone is in your life, whether it's in a positive or negative way. The truth is they're there for a reason. Like and I talk about this all the time. It's like the biggest, I think, concept and most important thing to really remember is the fact that we are observation vessels. You know what I'm saying? Like in this human form, we're just these observation vessels. So it's not about you as the individual per se, or me as the individual per se. We are what we are, right? We have feelings, we attach to certain things, we have preferences, and all that. But the main idea, and I'm getting to this about what my story, I'm working my way back into it. I'm working my way back to you, babe, right? So, and it's like, I know I shouldn't go off on extra tangents because it always messes me up. But when we're all, what I'm saying is we have to, in general, it's okay to have different thoughts and different opinions, right? But we have to like respect each other for it, and not like make that a determination as far as, the worth of another, in a sense. It doesn't mean you have to be involved in, a way of life and thinking that is not in conjunction with, who you are as an essence and what vibrates, correctly for you. But at the same time, we should all, with the realization that we are observation vessels, and it's not about the individual, that we are, spiritual, embodiment, as it were. So, we are observing, and we're able to work with the contrast of what we're seeing in the physical realm, to make our decisions to grow, in different ways. I mean, and to go another step real quick, not to get into it, it's just like, we have to remember too, that not only are we observation, vessels, but in conjunction with that, we are creating what we are observing, because, what we think, what we say, what we do, that's what that in essence is what creates the physical around us. I mean, and that's on multiple levels. In your individual life, if you believe in fearful ways, you're going to have fearful experiences. If you're, spiteful towards others, you're going to have spiteful things happen to you. It's just like, it kind of works that way. But then on a grander level, there's the whatchamacallit, there's the the collective consciousness. And, within that, we have an agreement, in a certain level, and there's multiple levels of this level of, individual, level of like community, level of like bigger humanity, it goes on of levels of consciousness that are, kind of working together to create. And remember, there is no time and space. We have to, these are the kind of things, if we can just open our mind to it, think about how it releases us from all the anger and all the fighting and everything, that's going on. So I had a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and used to be a coworker of mine actually, and was actually my supervisor on top of it. After a time, she became supervisor, and her and I always got along well, and well, anyway, but probably because we're both Leos. I'm a Leo, she's a Leo. But anyway, but different personality types. Like I'm a very, obviously, kind of gregarious Leo, where she's more of a stoical Leo. She's more of the quiet type, but anyway, what's interesting about her is that, like, I know that she would, and I'm not saying this about, all the way we talk about politics now, but just in general, she was more of a Democrat side, person. I understand she's, African-American woman, and I understand, the black population, and, in the history with Democrats and stuff like that. And plus it was like, from like the Philadelphia area. So that's kind of more of a blue area in general, as it were, too. So, but what I'm saying is, here's a person that I know that she does, she's on the other side, but she's not on the other side the way like the whole mainstream is perpetuated, the other side. She's like kind of has strong like Christian, background, and believes in a lot of things that you would say, other people would say would be more of the conservative side. To be honest with you, I have no idea, who she voted for in this election, because I didn't ask, and I know she doesn't really care, for Trump, and I know she voted for, Biden the last time. So whatever, but that's like, again, that what I'm trying to say is none of that, matters. And what I appreciate so much is that, and we didn't talk really heavy politics, we talked life more, but everything's so intertwined and, interconnected today, right? That it is what it is, but she's not on that way of like, I've had so many people that like, just because I would say that I prefer Trump, that turn me away or think I'm hateful or label me as something or don't want to talk to me anymore, and this person, she that's what I always liked about her as an individual, especially in the environment where I worked, where everybody was so fake. She was always great at really knowing people for who they were and seeing the real person, and she always treated me kind, as actually was super helpful. I never would have made it as long in that crazy career if I didn't have a person like her to kind of watch my back in certain regard, so I appreciate that, and like, that's why we're friends, you know what I'm saying? And like, and anyway, the conversation what got me more about like why I'm bringing it all up is that, like she started talking about, realizing that like, I can't control anything outside. And this is not me saying, this is stuff I say here on Operation Status Quo, but it was so awesome to hear a person kind of reflecting it back to see that that's, this is what I encourage, and this is what I think humanity should be doing at this time. All of us, right? She was talking about how, she realizes that there's nothing that, she can control. And the most important thing is to, focus on herself and be with her faith and, and be kind and, and give herself proper self-care so she can be helpful, to others and everything else. And I'm like, this is exactly, what I'm talking about. And I say, how great, I was thinking to myself to hear this from a, person that I would say might be on the other side, politically, because, there's another person in my neighborhood. Every time I see this person now walking down the street, I'm like, how you doing today? And they, oh, doing good now. Trump's president, to say, I'm like, that's like the other way. You don't need neither way, right? Like neither side, as I always try to say is to, dissipate all the, all that kind of stuff. There's nobody coming to save you, but you, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, I've seen this from conversations I've had with a few people that just little tidbits of them, saying like, I got to focus on me and do, and, kind of finding their center. And I think that's such a beautiful thing because especially with what's going on now. And I think there's kind of like some sort of like drunken haze, since Trump won, because I feel even myself, like I would say, would I say I'm happy, because it's the side that I would prefer. I mean, yeah, in a way, yeah, I guess, but I also feel like I don't know. That's why I called this episode "Times of Strange," because I feel like it's no matter what, like something still doesn't feel like right. You know what I'm saying? Because we still haven't gotten through what we're meant to get through yet as a collective to create and begin like the new way of living. Like, we're so used to, think about it, for everybody, except for the people who are super young, like, maybe the kids that are single digit age, or, babies just being born, or maybe, young teens. I don't really know, but I mean, yeah, probably, maybe like that. That's why Gen Z, doesn't want to take jobs the way that, people used to back in the day, because, it's just a different mindset, a different paradigm, and we're getting away from those structures of like, shoveling coal in a factory, all day long, and then you die at 50 years old, right? I'm saying like, that's how, again, going back to the levels, that's the whole point. Like everything is part of moving forward in the growth of humanity, us as a collective choosing what we're doing, to elevate, and no matter how it seems. I know there's people that think, the way they think about Trump, and that's fine. But I just think that just look at what's going on. We've never seen politics in this regard. Like, I haven't in my lifetime. I'm 51. I haven't seen any kind of anything like this in politics ever. The closest I can think of is when Ross Perot, I brought him up a couple times before, but when he ran during that time, because he was a character and all, but nothing like this, And you think about Trump, and just think about how everything in our life is really symbolism, and it's really, and again, like we're projecting, we're creating the physical reality. The guy's name is Trump. He was a real estate guy. He had casinos. He's the Trump card. In this whole political game. It's just like a weird thing. Like, and I think it's bigger than just people. Like, it's bigger than just people. Like, it's bigger than just one person, and he's taken over the world. I mean, it doesn't make sense, if you think about it. But like, I look at him as a catalyst towards driving humanity in an upward direction, whatever that means, and I'm not sure why, like, the people on the other side, well, I do know why, because I've said it before. There's basically there's victim mindset and there's not victim mindset. And for some reason, some souls, I'm going to say it this way because it's not a us versus them. It's not a judgment, so different energetic vibrations are in different spaces, and all energetic vibrations exist simultaneously because there is no time and space, right? So everything is, as one. So you have to have a little bit of everything. Again, to go back to the contrast, you have to have the contrast, to be able to, differentiate between what's what and make decisions, right? So, and I think the people that are more that way, I know it sounds negative, but the people who have like a victim mindset, or the people who, always want to blame something outside of themselves for what's going on, or people who want to, be taken care of by government structures and institutions because, they're fearful to engage, themselves, right? So they want to just know that they have a system that's going to take care of them, So, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying that's a level, right? That's a level, and that's a vibration, and that's a frequency. Now, the problem is, as our current collective is, we fight each other over these differences, and the people on the right side of things, or whatever you want to say, would say these are weak people and rah rah rah, and but the truth is, like, they're part of the totality, just like everything else. We're all part of the totality, and there's no reason for anybody to be angry at anyone, because, just to go back, we are observation vessels. So we are just seeing the projections of what happens, and then we observe and make our decisions based on the frequencies we're trying to align with. I don't think people realize how much power they have, like, in their thoughts and stuff. Like, it's easy to look outside. Like, I'm thinking, just to say Mark again, like, it's easy to look outside and like, why are you so angry? But again, I shouldn't even question it, because that frequency is necessary. And, and some people I would believe, that come into this world for specific, purposes. And, some people who are going to be on this type of level are there. They took on that mission to be the reflection of that frequency, just like on the other side. People, each individual soul took on the mission. It took on to be the reflection of that energetic field, again, for all of us to be able to observe the contrast. So, and if something is in your life and that you're seeing, feeling, it means it's meant to be there, right? And when it triggers you or whatever it is, it's a sign of, how do I move forward, or how do I process this? It's just interesting to me overall of like all the rah like on both sides and stuff. Like let's see how it happens. Like the bottom line is, I've talked about this a gazillion times, that consciousness is rising in humanity. I mean, I just feel it. It's just like, what I mean? Like you could see it. It's like, I don't know, I could feel it, I could see it, you know what I mean? So it's just a new way coming. We didn't even get into the crap with AI yet, and what's really going to be coming out with that, and all the new whatever, however life changes. I saw a thing with Elon Musk, and he was being interviewed, and he was talking about probably down the line, we're going to have some sort of universal basic income, because there's not going to be jobs, because of the AI type thing. And then but beyond that, he said, the hard part really is, how do we get people to find value in their lives when they attach so much, to their identity based on, the job that they do and stuff. And, it's, to me, that's what I'm saying. Like, our old way of thinking would be like, oh, if you don't want to work, you're lazy. But like, I don't think that at all. Like I'm big on the robots. Like I think it'd be awesome to have robots out there building the roads, building the houses, doing whatever, cleaning, doing my laundry. It's like, be like Rosie. Wasn't Rosie, isn't that the name of the maid on the Jetsons, So, but, and then it allows, to me, I think the most precious thing you have in life is time. There's nothing that can replace your time. You know what I'm saying? So you want to spend your time sitting in a cubicle doing a job. You want to spend your time, where you want to spend your time, So I look forward to that, because I think we're all creative beings with so much to offer. There's, I don't know. I haven't really worked since COVID overall. I mean, I have kind of had jobs, but I haven't really. They've all been at home basically. So, I really haven't worked, and I've been fine. So, I'm not bored at all. Sometimes I think I don't have enough time in the day. It's like, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing to me. Like, I would never want to give my time away to working, in that regard. Like how much time I can spend to be creative, time I can spend to, get to know a neighbor or something like that. I don't know. It's just different paradigms. So I know I'm jumping around here, but, I just want to kind of bring it together, because like I just have been observing this past week, and again, between things I see on social media and like, some of the conversations I had with, especially my friend from work, and to see, I was so happy for her to hear like how she was like dealing, because she's not a person that likes a lot of, a lot of noise and a lot of, she's calm, you know what I mean? Like, she don't want a lot of boom, So I just, and I appreciate that, like she, is finding her center, and like not putting it out in a way of like against anything. That's what she just said. She goes, well, just, we don't know what's coming like every day, and all we can do is today. We take it day by day. And I'm like, yeah, it's exactly, what I would say. Just focus on yourself, and, have love in your heart. It's really not that complicated, guys, overall, like, I don't know. That's why I come on and do this thing. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how many times to say it in different ways. I try to just express, but, I see what's going on out there, and it's just so many levels. Nothing's bad though. Nothing's bad, because again, I'm going to end it here. Again, it's all just projections. It's all meant to be. It's all one. It's all in essence. Even the most evil is all part of the highest good. It just is, and there's never going to be any perfection in a sense of like, what would that even mean? Excuse me. I always say, to people who are especially with, with the super religious, they go, when I die, I'm going to go to heaven. I was like, okay, well, what are you going to do there? Like, you're going to be in heaven for all eternity. And like, what do we do up there? Like, we have join a bowling league or something. It's like, so I don't know, but just remember to, whatever side, it doesn't matter, everything's good, and like, we don't have to, all we got to do, for now, if I want to just make one last basic comment, is just to remember that, just everybody has different thoughts, opinions, and ways, but we don't have to be mad at each other for that. We can accept it. Doesn't mean, again, we don't have to do what we don't like to do, be real with yourself, but we also don't have to be angry at others for doing things that are different than us. And once we can get into a groove of like that kind of basic way, then we'll be able to, we won't need the systems and the laws and the rules and such, because everyone will give each other space to be what they are, and it'll all just flow naturally without having to impose or, or victimized, or, what I'm saying? So, like, we have to make a program because these people are victims, or it's just like, we don't need it. We don't need any of that. Like, we're free. Let's just choose freedom, real freedom, not like, what they try to say like on commercials, like, real freedom of knowing how powerful we are as spiritual, entities, how powerful we are, as being created and being a creation, like, we're not just like cattle here to, work all day toiling for freaking goofy products to sell at Walmart or some nonsense. You know what I mean? It's bigger. So, just be happy, be excited, because we're heading in that direction of growth. Just be open to how amazing it can be, in a different world with different ways, and like what a great opportunity. Why would we want to do the same thing forever and ever? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, isn't it beautiful when life changes? I mean, you look back at over years of your life and you think about where you were, and like, you really want to go back to what, like 1980, and like make everything just like it was in 1980 or something. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like, okay, that was that time, and wow, I have so many great memories and stuff, and that I carry with me, and everything that I learned through that time, I still carry with me. And now I bring that into the new that's being created. And look how amazing it is to see a new way and try this out. Like, it's like getting a new pair of pants after 10 years, which I probably should do. I need a new pair of jeans. Anyway, that's what I got for you here today on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. Went a little longer than I thought. I really didn't think I had much to say today, but once I start, jibber jabbering, you know how it goes. So I love you guys out there individually as well as a group. I really do, and that's what this place is all about. So your participation is always welcome. I'm happy to, hear your comments, your thoughts, topics you'd like me to share. Let me know if, what I'm trying to say resonates with you, or maybe it doesn't, or let me know what you think about it. I'm curious because, it helps me decide what to do moving forward with future episodes. Otherwise, I just keep plugging along, right? All right. So don't forget to check out my website, PetePalma.com, all my musical ongoings and such. And that's it. So if you haven't done so already, please take the time to like, subscribe, share, send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. God bless each and every one of you. And until next time, Operation Status Quo, disengaged.